How's everybody doing today, man? Welcome back again from the second hiatus. We are back again. We filmed, took some time off, came back, filmed, took some time off. Now we're back again. Very inconsistent, and I apologize for that. But I do have somewhat of a valid excuse, but not really. It's been a little bit crazy. I need to find a way, though, in the midst of chaos in my life, still find a way to film. And I haven't figured that out yet. So my friend's wedding was this past week, so I've been kind of focused on that the entire week. But I haven't shot something for several weeks. So I think it's been like 2 weeks. So it's like, what was the excuse for that week before? I don't have really any excuse in the chamber ready to go. So I'm just going to have to take the L on that. Just been lazy. But yeah, so pretty much if we're just going to kind of go through what's been going on this past week, man, my friend's wedding, very beautiful wedding. Didn't have much time to enjoy it because pretty much the entire time I was shitting myself because I had to get up and make a speech. I was freaking out, man. I had the speech ready. I had it ready to go. I had it rehearsed and practiced. I knew it by heart practically. And, I still was freaking. And I get up there, dude, I'm just shaking. I'm freaking out. I get up there, I say it. I had jokes in there, but I cut the jokes out because I'm like, I'm not gonna put myself in a situation where if I make a joke and I don't get any laughs, that's gonna freak me out to the point where I'm not gonna be able to finish the speech. I'm like, you know what? We're just gonna cut all the jokes out. I just put one little tiny little mini joke in there, and the rest of it was just, from the heart. But yeah, so it went okay. I'd give it a 7 out of 10. I think a 7 out of 10. No, 6. I give it a 6 out of 10. A little bit better than the average, but still wasn't great. So yeah, man. So that's pretty much what it was. It was just waking up early, flying down to Arizona for this wedding. That's really what I've been focused on this past week. So I kind of was, quit filming or thinking about filming. That was really on the back burner. So, yeah. But man, it's been, it was a beautiful wedding, but it was also this thing of like, damn, you are now married and you're young. And you are married, you're with somebody who cares about you, who loves you, and it's like, that's awesome, and I'm so proud of him for that. But there, you can't not have a little bit of like, fuck you, right? There's a little bit of like, you fucker, because it's like, that should be me too, right? It's not eating me up that much, but when you're standing up there watching this, it's like, yeah, it's so heartfelt. You're watching these two lovebirds love each other up there, but there's that part of you that's like, and then you're proud of them and you're like happy for both of them. But then there's that part of you that's like, damn, that should be me. That should be me, but it's not. And it's like, you just got to accept that. So yeah, so that, that was that played a little bit of a role. I was kind of bummed about that. I'm like, damn, dude, I think just watching all my friends get married, and it's like, brother, you're not even remotely in the stratosphere of that, It's like, you need to figure out what your sexuality even is. What is your sexual preference? You got to figure that shit out first. So I'm way behind. I'm dragging. So that's something. But no, man, it was a good time. It was a really good time. I think it's just awesome to see two people just like actually love each other. It's just one of those weddings that's like, you just look at these two and you're like, that's, it's just, y'all got something there. So yeah, it was a good time, man. Good time chilling. And then I flew back, bro. I haven't slept in like a week, 2 weeks. I started to develop a night terror sort of thing. I started to scream in my sleep or yell in my sleep. And, I never used to be one of those people that snored or made even a noise, bro. I could be sleeping in your bed with you right now. You wouldn't even know that I was there. Right now, you could be laying in your bed right now. I could be right behind your back, and you wouldn't even know that I was there. Passed out asleep. You wouldn't even know it. I'm a ninja when it comes to the bed. But yeah, so, that's what I used to be. But then, apparently, I was staying at a friend's house before I even went to Arizona. And they're like, hey, like, are you all good? You're out here screaming in your sleep. So I guess I'm starting to make this like, I'm doing that in my sleep. And I think it's just lack of sleep. I think I haven't gotten sleep in these past couple of weeks. So I think that's really what's playing a role, is just my lack of sleep. So I get no sleep leading up to this wedding. I get no sleep during the trip. And then during my flights, I can't sleep on a plane. I cannot sleep on the plane. I try to. I think I'm just very aware that there's people around me. I'm very aware there's several things that could go wrong. My reptilian brain is starting to be like, it's looking at its surroundings, it's looking at all its threats. It's like, okay, this person to your right could you, this person to your left could try, steal something from you. Somebody could try to kiss you, something, like there's all this stuff that's going on, and it's just, I can't let myself get into a deep sleep. And on top of all of just the threats around me that were bugging me, I also was scared about, what am I going to do? I started to develop these night screams. I didn't want to do that in the middle of a flight. I didn't want us to be an hour and a half into this flight and I'm randomly screaming. I didn't want to be that guy. I didn't want to do that. I was a little bit worried, if I get into a deep sleep, am I going to yell? I don't want to accidentally start talking in my sleep and I just yell bomb or something on the middle of this flight. So I think I was like subconsciously aware of that. So I was like, I noticed myself drifting off, but then I'd catch myself and come back. So there's like no sleep, man, no sleep whatsoever. So we're trying to recover from that. But no, man, overall I'm kind of, in a way, it was a good time, but in a way I'm glad it's over. I'm glad it's over. I'm glad that I'm back. I'm glad that I can get on a normal schedule again, and I'm not having to stress about this. So, but it was also a good time too. It definitely was a good time, and I loved it. So, yeah. Trying to think what the highlight of the trip was. I think the highlight of the trip, if I'm being honest, it wasn't even the wedding itself, man. I think the highlight of the trip was hanging out with the guy that was getting married beforehand. He was getting married on Saturday. We hung out. The wedding didn't even start till 3:45, so we're spending the whole day together, man. I think that was the highlight of my trip. It's just spending time with him, talking about stuff that we care about, talking about, creativity and all that. So it was just a good time, man. We were just driving, through these scenic routes, just talking about this. It's just, I love those types of conversations, man. So I think that was the highlight of the trip for me. And then the low part of the trip, I think, was me. Okay, I felt so good after doing the speech that I'm on a high. I get on this high and then I start doing stuff that I don't want to do. And I ended up smoking. I ended up smoking a cigarette, 2 cigarettes. And, it was a little bit disappointing. I'm not going to lie, man. I inhaled this cig and I was expecting it to be like how it was in the past, where it just, all of my stresses would just blow away in the smoke. That didn't happen. And, it felt okay, but it wasn't like it used to be. And, in a way, it's good. It's like, all right, I'm not going to crave it as much because it's not giving me the experience that I thought. So, yeah. Sorry, man, I got so much gas right now. I'm like trying to push up so like the gas will like leave. It doesn't get stuck. Yeah, so good time, man. I think the flight back sucked though, because so I'm in between these two people. They don't speak English. First thing, these two don't speak English, and I'm noticing little, during the flight a little bit that they're interacting with each other, so they clearly know each other. I'm trying to communicate to them, hey, like, y'all want to sit next to each other, I'll take your seat. And they weren't understanding that. I was trying to be like, hey, like, me move this seat, and they just they weren't following me. So I was just like, fuck it, I'll sit in the middle. I'll be in this, I'll be in this sandwich here between them. And it was okay until they started talking to each other, because there was a girl on my left, there was a guy on my right, and when the dude would turn his head and start talking, brother had the hottest breath I have ever fucking smelled in my life. Hottest fucking breath. I mean, I couldn't even explain to you what this breath smelled like. The closest resemblance is like if you were to smell like Satan's semen. Like, that is as close a smell as this dude, his breath was. And it was appalling. It was so bad I didn't want to just throw up and gag. I actually wanted to die, because I just didn't know how I would be able to recover from smelling it. It was so bad. So whenever he would be turning to talk to her, I'm like whipping my head this way, pretending like I'm looking out the window, when in reality, I'm just trying to save my nostrils. I'm trying to save my scent buds. But yeah, so that was probably the worst part of the flight. And, there's multiple times he's trying to talk to her about stuff. And, and I can't communicate to him that his breath is bad. If I can't even communicate that for him to change a seat, how am I supposed to tell him that he's got Satan semen breath? Like, I just can't do that to him. So I had to just do it. I had to just roll with it, and we did, and we landed. Yeah. So I think that was really a low point. I missed my flight going in. So we land, right? And, I'm cutting this thing close. I'm cutting it real damn close, to the point of like, I only had like a 30-minute layover. And we land, and my flight is leaving in 30 minutes. And I'm like, all right, I'm barely going to make it. We land and we stop for a second. The captain comes on the phone. He's like, hey, somebody stole our fucking gate. And I'm like, you got to be fucking kidding me. Like, you got other planes out here robbing other planes' gates. Like, it was just crazy. So we had to sit there waiting for a new gate to be assigned, because some homie wanted to rob it. So we're sitting there way longer than I anticipated. My flight's boarding. Finally, we get there. And, dude, I'm climbing over people. I'm telling people, hey, like, I got a flight leaving now. Like, I don't even think I'm going to make it, but I'm going to try. I'm climbing over people, man. I'm shoving kids out the way. And I'm just bolting it, hauling ass to this gate. I'm sprinting. I mean, I'm straight up freaking Tyreek Hilling this. And I get there. And it's like a movie, dude. It was just like a fucking movie. I get there, and I see them shutting the door. And I stop. I'm like, hey, y'all gotta let me on. Y'all gotta let me on. And she's like, sir, I'm sorry. Once these doors are closed, like, there's no way of me to reopen them. And I'm like, damn. I'm like, God. But I got booked 2 hours later, which ended up working out. But it's just like, damn, dude. It was like a movie. It was just so crazy. But yeah, so that it ended up working out. It ended up being fine. But that was just stress that I didn't need, on top of all this other stress that I had. So I've had diarrhea this past like week, just because I'm like stressing out. My stomach's been making these noises and stuff. So I'm hoping now that it's over, maybe now that I'm just focusing on work and I'm focusing on making these videos and stuff like that, maybe now it's gonna chillax a little bit. But we'll see what happens, man. We will see how that goes. But yeah, man, outside of that, it's been all right. I've been in a mood. I've been in a mood today. I've been in a mood. I think just honestly, like, spending time with, my friends that were there for this wedding, and just spending time with people, man. I don't know why. I've been feeling so disconnected from people. I've been feeling so disconnected from just life. I just, I'd be spending time with them, and it's like, they're all joking around and stuff. And I'm more just in just a solitary state. I'm just more like to myself, more in my mind a little bit. I would participate in stuff here and there, but overall it was like, man, I just was thinking. I was just in my head, and it's just, I don't know. I don't know. It's just this thing of like, why do I take life so seriously? Why do I take things so seriously? Why can't I just have a good time? And why can't I put it on pause? I think that's a thing too. It's like I'm going through some stuff, right? Like everybody's going through shit, right? But I notice with some people, they can be going through some heavy shit and they can put it on pause when they need to. I can't put my stuff on pause. I can't just be like, oh, hey, like, you got to figure your life out and you're broke, but let's put that on pause and let's go have a good time at this wedding. It's like, I can't do that. It's like, I, when something is bugging me, it's going to bug me no matter what situation I'm in. And it's unfortunate. I don't like it. It's something that I'd like to change, but I can't change it. And I think I just have to embody it. I have to accept it. I have to roll with that. But it's something that does bug me because I see people being able to put it on pause. But so I think that's something that's been kind of bugging me. It's like, man, I think I know the potential that I have to just be a good person. I just think like I have this potential to do good things in life and to really impact people, but I don't let myself do it. I notice that. Like I'm the wall. I'm the thing that's blocking me. I know I've talked about this before, but I notice that like, man, I'm aware of what the problem is, but I still can't change the problem, or I still think that I can't change the problem. And it's just like, I know I got so much to offer, but I just have to let myself offer it and stop getting in my head and stop overthinking everything. And that's what it is. So, I mean, like, I think like the goal really for me is like, I need to put myself in a different emotional state. I notice socially, it's like, I can go through the exact same experience with somebody. I can talk with somebody and I come out of the experience feeling really good about it. I can do it the exact same way, say the same thing, go about it the exact same way, but if my emotional state is different, of course I'm going to associate those two social interactions differently depending on what emotional state I'm in for both of them. So I notice for me, it's not about how did I do during the interaction, it's how did I feel during the interaction? What emotional state am I in during it? And that's why for me, it's like, it's all about doing the best that you can every day to keep yourself in a good emotional state, no matter what you have to do. And I know that is impossible to do every single day, but what is possible is putting into practice good things that can more often than not get you into those good headspaces. Because that's what I notice it is. You know, I used to always think it was this thing of like, oh man, you're just not doing good today. You're just bad socially today. You can't find the words. You can't this, you can't that. But I realize it's more of how do I feel emotionally. That's when I come out of it feeling, because I notice that like the interaction can go the exact same way. If I'm in a positive, more mindset, headspace, emotional state, it's going to be a great interaction compared to if I'm in a bad state, it's going to be a bad interaction, even though on the surface they both were the same. So that's just something that I'm trying to work through now is like just do everything you can every day to put yourself in the best emotional state possible. And that's all you need. That's all you need. It's an easy fix. Kind of an easy fix. Some days it's just going to be what it's going to be, but some days you can just, it's going to work better than others. But yeah, so that's kind of what my goal is, to just like do the best that I can to feel better and to put myself in the best state possible. But so I think that's going to be it for today, guys. We're at 20 minutes, not too long. I got to get right back. I got to get back into the flow of this thing, man. This flow has been kind of, it's been a minute. It's been a minute since I did this. So yeah, I'm going to end it here. I'll see you guys on probably Thursday. I'm going to try to be doing one of these like every 2 days or something, maybe 3 days. I'll see. But yeah, so I will talk to you guys later. God bless you.